Time is a mystery that no one has fully understood. But what happens when three friends find themselves trapped in an endless time loop, repeating the same day again and again after reaching a strange and unknown island? They keep time traveling without any control, waking up to the same Tuesday every single time. But how did this all begin? What is the secret behind this island? This science fiction story is not just about time travel and time loops. It also dives deep into human emotions like greed, betrayal, and hidden intentions. So pay close attention to every detail because every moment matters. Let's begin. The story starts with a young man named Milton. He wakes up alone inside a small wooden cabin on an island he doesn't recognize. His body feels weak, his mind is confused, and he rushes toward the bathroom. But what he finds there is completely unexpected. There's an old video player sitting on the bathroom counter. A note on it reads, "Play me." Nervously, Milton presses play. The screen lights up, and he sees himself in the video. The Milton in the video speaks in a calm but serious tone. "You don't know what's going on yet, but this is how time works on this island. I am your future version, and I have something very important to tell you. Something that might help you fix everything before it's too late." Milton stares in shock. Is this really him? The man in the video continues, "I know you won't believe me, so let me prove it." He lifts a knife and cuts off one of his hands. Milton's eyes go wide. His own hand is still there, untouched. That's when he realizes the truth. This is his future self. The future Milton begins to explain more. He says, "Today is Tuesday, but it's not an ordinary Tuesday. You're stuck in a loop now, and it all started a few days ago." The scene now shifts back in time. Just a few days before all this, Milton was arrested. He had always been great at chemistry, but instead of using his knowledge for good, he started making illegal in his college lab. He did it out of greed to make quick money. Eventually, the law caught up with him. He was not sent to prison, but to a rehab center on a remote island, where people like him were given one last chance to change. At first, Milton kept to himself, but soon he met a mysterious and charming girl named Skyler. One day when they were alone, Skyler revealed something strange. She said she didn't really come to the rehab for help. She came to find him. She had an offer. If Milton could make a batch of high-quality for her just once, she would get him released from rehab. Not only that, she promised to have his criminal record erased, giving him a clean start in life. Milton was confused and afraid. He didn't want to go back to that world. He had already made mistakes. At first, he said no, but Skyler didn't give up. Over the next few days, she started getting close to him, talking sweetly, laughing with him, showing care and attention. Milton had never been with a girl like this before. He started to like her. He started to feel seen, maybe even loved. So finally, Milton gave in. He told himself that this would be the last time. Just one deal, and he'd be free. Free from rehab, free from his past, and maybe even start a new life with Skyler. But what Milton didn't know was this decision would change everything, and the price of that one mistake would be more than he could ever imagine. It was late Monday night when something strange happened. A police officer suddenly came to the rehab facility. His name was Officer Russell, and to Milton's surprise, he had arrived to release both him and Skyler. Milton didn't understand what was going on, but the real shock came when he learned the truth. Russell wasn't just any officer. He was Skyler's boyfriend. It was all a trap. Skyler had never truly cared about Milton. She had gotten close to him only to trick him, to get him to agree to make the and now that Milton had run away from the rehab center, he couldn't go back. He was officially a fugitive. Russell, who seemed calm at first, slowly revealed his true nature. There was something off about him, something dangerous. He drove both Milton and Skyler in his car to a remote, deserted island where he claimed no one could ever reach them. "No one lives here. No one will come here," he said with a creepy smile. "So there's nothing to worry about." They reached a large abandoned house in the middle of the island. As soon as Milton stepped inside, a chill ran down his spine. The walls were covered in old, rusted weapons. The whole place looked dark, dusty, and disturbing. While exploring the house, Milton found some old papers and documents. The more he read, the more scared he became. The documents spoke of terrible things that had happened on this island for hundreds of years. There were stories of people going mad, of wars that broke out for no reason, and how everyone who came here eventually turned against each other. In one story, only a single man had survived after days of violence. Since then, the island had been abandoned. Now Milton understood why Russell had brought him here. Russell told Milton that he could rest tonight, but in the morning he had a job to do, make a full supply of By Tuesday evening, Russell had to sell them to a gangster. In return, they would earn a huge amount of money. After that, Milton would be free to leave. But it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like a trap with no way out. As the night went on, Milton began to notice more signs of Russell's madness. He was obsessed with guns. He played Russian roulette for fun, spinning the barrel of a loaded gun and pulling the trigger on himself like it was a game. "I've never lost," Russell laughed loudly. During one of his crazy stunts, he threw a bullet in the air. It accidentally got stuck in a chandelier above. This may seem like a small small moment, but that bullet will become very important later in the story. So don't forget it. Since they all had work the next day, they decided to party for one night. Drinks, loud music, and strange energy filled the air. Russell, now completely drunk, began sharing more about the island's dark past. He said that he learned it from the papers too. Centuries ago, he slurred, a group of settlers lived here, but something changed them. They began to fight, kill, betray each other, until only one man was left alive. No one ever returned here after that. This island is cursed, he whispered with a twisted grin. The night faded slowly. The drinks, the tension, the lies, everything felt heavy. Then, Tuesday morning, Milton slowly opened his eyes. His head hurt badly from the alcohol. He was lying on the same sofa we saw at the beginning of the story. The room looked the same. The day felt the same. But this time, there was no video player, no message, nothing. Yet Milton was sure it was the exact same day, the same moment. So what changed? Why did some events repeat, but others didn't? Why was the tape missing this time? Milton got up from the sofa and went to find Skyler. But this time, she looked scared, and not for the reasons he expected. She nervously apologized to Milton. She admitted that she had only gotten close to him to take advantage of him and get the formula. But now she was feeling guilty. She warned Milton that Russell was very dangerous, and once the were ready, he might kill Milton. Milton felt confused, but also believed that Skyler was scared of Russell, just like he was. On top of that, he had started to fall in love with her, so he told her he wasn't going to run away and leave her alone with Russell. Skyler didn't argue, but secretly she gave Milton a gun for his safety. As planned, Milton picked up his diary of chemical formulas and sat down in a small cabin to begin making the Russell was outside chopping wood, waiting for the product so he could sell it to a gangster later that evening. But when the day came to an end, something terrible happened. Russell somehow found the gun that Skyler had given to Milton. He became furious and started beating Milton. Milton, injured and scared, told him, "If you kill me now, the drugs aren't finished yet. You'll lose your deal." But Russell just laughed coldly. He had already stolen the formulas from Milton's diary. "I don't need you anymore," Russell said. That's when Milton finally understood the full truth. Russell and Skyler had planned from the very beginning to use him to get the formulas and then kill him. But something had changed. Skyler had started to feel sorry for Milton, and that's why she tried to warn him in the morning. Now Russell pointed the gun at Milton and pulled the trigger, but nothing happened. No bullet came out. Skyler then stepped in and revealed she had already emptied Russell's gun. Russell was shocked. He now realized Skyler had turned against him and was trying to protect Milton. Furious, he grabbed another gun and began firing wildly at both of them. One bullet even scraped Milton's ear, causing him to fall to the ground in pain. Then just as Russell was about to kill Milton, Skyler shot him from behind, killing him. The room fell silent. Both Milton and Skyler were shaking with fear. Milton dragged Russell's body outside, behind the cabin, and began to bury him. But just as he was finishing, Russell opened his eyes. He was still barely alive. With his final breath, he warned Milton, "Don't trust Skyler. No matter what, she's smarter than she seems." But Milton thought Russell was just trying to create doubt in his mind. He ignored him and buried him completely. Then, Milton went back inside and hugged Skyler. But as she hugged him back, her expression changed. She began to look at him in a strange, cold way. It was as if Skyler was still hiding something big. After falling asleep, Milton wakes up again the next morning, but something feels wrong. Just like the day before, he feels sick and confused. But this time, he wasn't drunk. He steps outside to find Skyler, hoping they can escape together. But to his shock, Russell is alive again, acting like nothing ever happened. Milton panics and looks at Skyler. From her face, he can tell she remembers everything from yesterday, just like him. Milton touches his ear, the one that got shot, but it's completely healed now. Then it hits him. This isn't a new day. It's the same Tuesday again. Everything is repeating. To be sure, Milton runs to the spot behind the cabin and finds Russell's dead body still buried there. This means the day has reset, but what they did yesterday is still real. Milton is terrified. Skyler tells him to stay calm and hide the truth from Russell, who doesn't remember anything. But Milton doesn't listen. He rushes to tell Russell everything about the time loop and his own death. That turns out to be a huge mistake. Russell snaps and stabs Milton in anger. He then tries to attack Skyler too, but she's ready this time and kills Russell again. Milton is badly hurt, but Skyler tells him not to worry. His wound will heal when the loop resets, just like his ear did. That's when Milton realizes Skyler already knows everything about this time loop. It's clear she's lived through it before. She calmly says, "Tomorrow will be Tuesday again. The first thing we need to do is kill Russell before he kills us." Once again, it was Tuesday morning. Just like Skyler had said, Milton woke up and saw saw that even his stomach wound had healed, just like the gunshot on his ear had healed before. Everything was happening exactly the same. But this time, instead of waiting, Milton killed Russell himself as soon as he saw him. They buried his body once again. Now Milton and Skyler sat down to think seriously. How could they break this time loop? Milton had always been smart, especially in science. So he started analyzing everything that had happened, from the moment they escaped the rehab on Monday night to the repeating Tuesday. He believed that if they could understand what caused the loop, they might find a way to end it. So Milton and Skyler began keeping notes. They tracked every loop carefully. They tried different ideas in each one, but every single day, they woke up again on Tuesday. First, they tried not killing Russell, just tying him up, but the loop still restarted. Then they tried to drive off the island, thinking maybe escape would work. But no matter how far they got, when the clock hit midnight, everything reset again. Over time, they became exhausted and frustrated. Nothing worked. Every one of Milton's plans failed. Finally, Milton gave up. He felt hopeless. That's when Skyler told him to follow her. She said there was something she had never shown him before, a secret she had kept hidden all this time. She led him behind a hill, and what Milton saw there made the ground slip beneath his feet. There were hundreds of dead bodies. All of them were versions of himself. That was the second big twist. Skyler then explained the truth. This time loop didn't start recently. It's been going on for a very long time. You just don't remember. She revealed that when the loop first began, it was always Russell and Skyler working together. Every morning they would kill Milton at sunrise. They'd dump his body behind the hill, just like these ones. Milton asked, "But then why doesn't Russell remember the loops now?" Skyler explained the real rule of the time loop. If someone dies during a loop, they forget everything when the next loop starts. A new version of them appears with no memory of the past. But if someone survives, they keep their memories and live through the loop again. That's why Milton only started remembering after he stopped dying. That's why Russell remembers nothing now, because he's been killed in every loop recently. And that's also why Skyler remembers everything, because she's never died. Milton realized the cold truth. All this time, he had been dying over and over, and only Skyler and Russell had remembered. Then came another realization. Russell had warned him, "Don't trust Skyler. She's smarter than she looks," and now it made sense. Milton asked angrily, "So why did you kill Russell and side with me?" Skyler replied calmly, "Because Russell couldn't help me escape the loop. But you're smart. You might find the way out." She admitted it. She switched sides only when it suited her. She was with Russell at first, using him. Then she saw hope in Milton, so she betrayed Russell. Skyler was never loyal to anyone. She only chose the person who gave her the best chance to survive and escape. Milton finally understood. Skyler wasn't trying to save him. She was just trying to save herself. Milton now realized something very important. The time loop only affects living people, not objects or dead bodies. That's why each time someone dies, their body still remains in the next loop. That's also why Milton's notes, diaries, and data stay with him. Only the living start over. The rest stays the same. But now Milton was stuck. He couldn't trust anyone, not even Skyler. He had no idea what to do next. Then a new loop began. It was Tuesday again. This time, Milton had a new plan. He told Skyler, "What if it's the island itself that's causing this loop? Strange things have always happened here." That's what Russell said too. So Milton suggested a bold idea. Instead of staying on this island, let's take the Russell was going to sell, meet the gangster Archer, take the money, and leave the island completely. Maybe, if we're not here at midnight, the loop won't restart, Skyler agreed. That evening, they took everything and went to meet Archer, the same gangster Russell always dealt with. But Archer was suspicious. He had made this deal with Russell, not Milton or Skyler. He guessed they had killed Russell for the money. So instead of paying them, he pulled a gun on them, trying to rob them and take the without paying anything. But Milton and Skyler were ready. They had guns too. A shootout broke out. In the chaos, both Milton and Skyler were shot, though they managed to escape. But Milton was scared. "If one of us dies," he said, "we'll forget everything. We'll lose all our progress." And just like that, the loop reset again. Milton's plan had failed again, but something clicked in his mind. He remembered what Russell had once told him. The island has a dark and violent past. Milton suddenly felt that the answer was hidden in the island's history. So in the next loop, Milton acted fast. He avoided Skyler and Russell. He went alone, determined to find the truth. That evening, he checked the car's security cameras, especially the footage from the night they first arrived on the island. And that's when he saw something shocking, something that finally explained how this time loop started, and more importantly, how to break it. Milton remembered the story Russell told him when they first came to the island, about a war that lasted for months, centuries ago. But now Milton realized something strange. That war didn't last for months. It lasted one single day, repeated over and over again through a time loop. And in the end, only one man survived. That's where the story ended. Now it finally made sense to Milton. This island has always been stuck in a time loop, and the only way to break it is for only one person to survive. Two of the three, Milton, Skyler, or Russell, must die. He also noticed something else. In every loop so far, only one person died, never two. That's why the loop kept repeating. Later that evening, Milton checked the car's security camera recordings. Since the car is a non-living object, the footage never reset with the loop, and what he saw shocked him. They had been trapped in this same Tuesday for decades, over and over again. For years, they had lived the same day. Milton's mind was blown. He hadn't remembered any of it until now. With this new knowledge, Milton removed the camera to plan carefully. Then the loop reset again. Back to Tuesday morning. As always, Milton killed Russell first and then told Skyler the truth. If we want to escape this loop, two of us have to die. Only the last one will be free. He told her everything he knew, even though he wasn't sure he could trust her. But Milton was still in love with Skyler. I won't kill you, he said, and I trust you won't kill me either. To protect himself just in case, Milton secretly removed all weapons from the cabin after killing Russell. He thought Skyler would have no way to harm him now, but he forgot one thing. At the beginning of the story, Russell had accidentally dropped a bullet into the chandelier. Skyler didn't forget. She climbed up, grabbed the hidden bullet, and loaded it into a small gun she had kept hidden. Then she turned to Milton and said, "You really are a fool, Milton. I did start liking you, but I'm not going to ruin my life because you love me." She shot Milton, killing him. Now Skyler was finally the only survivor, and the time loop ended. Skyler took all the and went to make the deal with gangster Archer. But this time, she was ready. She knew Archer would try to kill her and steal everything, so she planted a bomb nearby to scare him. It worked. She walked away with millions of dollars, leaving chaos behind. That night, Skyler checked into a luxury hotel, finally free. She had enough money to live in comfort forever. As she got ready for bed, she thought about Milton. He really loved me, and he gave me the answer that set me free. She felt a small pang of guilt, but it faded fast. The loop was over, or so she thought, because now came the third and biggest twist in the entire story. Skyler opened her eyes and froze. It was Tuesday morning again. No! "This can't be," she whispered. The loop hadn't ended. Everything had reset again. Confused, she went to the bathroom, and just like Milton once did, she found a video recorder sitting by the sink. She played the tape. It was Milton, but this was a different Milton, one who had already figured out everything. "If you're watching this," future Milton said, "then you killed me." Skyler's face dropped. Milton wasn't as foolish as she thought. He knew there was a chance she'd betray him, so he had made a backup plan. That morning when he killed Russell in front of her, he didn't actually kill him. He only pretended, just to test Skyler. If she killed Milton and Russell was still alive, then the loop would reset and Milton's test would be complete. Skyler had failed, and since dead people forget, the new version of Milton would lose all memory. But Milton had left behind the truth, recorded on the car's camera and placed in the bathroom. Just like that, the story had come full circle. We were back at the very first scene of the movie. Now, in this new loop, Milton had seen the tape. He remembered everything. So this time, he was ready for Skyler. But this time, they forgot to kill Russell. And since Russell hadn't died in the last loop, he remembered everything too. Now, all three of them knew the truth. Only one person can leave the loop. The other two must die. Russell captured both Milton and Skyler and tied them up. After seeing Milton's tape, he realized what needed to be done. "Only one of us leaves this island," he said, grinning like a madman. But instead of shooting them directly, Russell decided to play his favorite game, Russian roulette. He put one bullet in the gun's chamber and spun it. He chose himself first. "I've never lost this game," he smirked. He pulled the trigger. Bang! The bullet fired on the first try. Russell was dead. In that chaos, Milton broke free and grabbed a gun. Skyler fell to her knees, begging him for mercy. "Please, Milton, I was wrong, but we can stay together forever. We'll never grow old. This day will repeat. We'll be happy, just the two of us." Milton looked at her with pain in his eyes. "I did love you, Skyler, but you only ever thought about yourself. Still, I can't kill you." He raised the gun and shot himself. Skyler screamed. Tears streamed down her face. Milton had sacrificed himself so she could escape the loop. This time, Wednesday morning finally came. Skyler woke up in the cabin, alone. The loop had truly ended. But as she stepped outside, she saw someone standing there. It was Archer, the gangster. He had come looking for Russell, who never showed up for the deal. Instead, he found two dead bodies, Milton and Russell. He pointed his gun at Skyler. "Looks like you killed them both and tried to keep the goods for yourself," he said coldly. "Now I'll take the stuff and your life too. But Skyler only laughed, a wild, broken laugh. Go ahead, shoot me. You have no idea what you're walking into. Because if all three of them, Skyler, Milton, and Russell, die on this island again, the loop starts over. And with that chilling twist, this unforgettable movie, Blood Punch, comes to an end. How did you like the video and its shocking twists? Let me know in the comments below.